What's going on, people? Quick story time about when I heard God after doing a crime. It's quite a mad story, but all of it is absolutely true. But yeah, what happened was, and to tell you the story, I've got to go back. So when I was a young teenager, I used to, I was selling drugs, I was doing all of these things. And then, but where I was selling drugs was selling drugs was right outside of a bookies. It was a little spot where all the users used to come and buy. I was selling it outside of the bookies, and then what I ended up doing, I saw like the older lot going into the bookies, winning money and everything like this, and I just thought, right, that's something that I want to do. You know, I want to make money, and they're just making quick money, like. So I was underage, yeah, but I managed to get in there because I was always outside of the spot. So I managed to get in there and gamble. So at the time, I didn't really know I had a problem, but I was gambling loads, losing loads of money, winning loads of money, losing loads of money. And the money that I used to make off drugs, I was putting it right back into gambling. It was like, that was my habit, like, it's a bad habit. Anyways, one day, I'd lost a lot of money just in one day. So I remember this day, I ended up putting 10 grand in one day in the bookies. So I went there with 4 grand trying to make 6 grand. So I went there with 4 grand, and I was like, if I make 2 grand, I'm happy, kind of thing. Ended up losing the 4 grand, went back, got 6 grand, and then ended up losing that 6 grand, but it didn't pay out whatsoever. It just kept sucking me. It just kept taking. So I was pissed, and I just started to get into my thinking. I was like, wow, like it's right, like it's true, the house always wins. This place is actually set up to rob people. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and then I started deeping it even further. I started thinking, like, why are there only bookies in deprived areas? Like, if you go to all the deprived areas in London, there's loads of bookies. Like, I was brought up in Tottenham, and there was like 10 bookies in one little area in Tottenham, and there was even more in other parts of Tottenham. So I started thinking, like, wow, these people are actually just robbing people, like, and that's how I thought. That was my mindset, and it still is my mindset. These people are robbing people. So don't think you can gamble and win. Like, I just don't think it ever happens. I think some people do get lucky, but the majority, like 90%, don't. Anyways, I've ended up losing this 10 grand. So I was pissed, and I was just like, you know what? They're robbing people. I'm just gonna rob them back. So I knew where to go. I went to this spot. Then I robbed this other bookies. And then I made 11 grand. This is the first bookies that I robbed. And then I was like, wow, that was easy, because I got ready, my heart was pumping, but I went in there. I was in there 30 seconds, in and out. Probably not even 30 seconds, I was just in and out. And I was just like, yeah, this is easy, kind of thing. Like, you just kind of have to have the balls to go in. When I did it though, there was some hero, and he ended up trying to throw a bin at me and everything like that. But anyways, I robbed this bookies now, got 11 grand, and I was like, wow, this was easy. So every time I was losing in the bookies, yeah, every time I lost in this bookies, or in any bookies, I ended up robbing one. So I was just robbing loads of bookies. Every time I lost, I would say, fuck it, I'm gonna rob one. And then that's just how my life was for a bit. Anyways, at the time, I didn't think that I was doing anything wrong. My justification of it was, these people are robbing people, so I've now got the right to rob them back, kind of thing. That was my justification of it. But upon doing this 10-year sentence that I just finished, I realized that there was actual victims, because the cashiers, even though I knew I wasn't going to harm them, I just wanted the bookie, I just wanted their money. I didn't want the cashier's money, I wanted the establishment's money. So that was my way of thinking. But really, the cashiers could never have known that. So they would have been traumatized, you know, and I didn't really think of it at the time. I didn't think of it like that. Anyways, I'm just robbing bookies now. I'm doing all of these things, and I'm selling drugs. And bear in mind, I was brought up in a religious home. You know, my gran used to drag me to church. I used to be super religious. Like, you know, I used to pray every day. I used to read the Bible, do all of these things. And one day, and robbing these bookies is like, it's nothing to me. I'm just doing them quickly. I'm doing loads as well. So one day I've gone to a spot, and I had a few houses nearby. So I was in a house, and then something in my head told me, be careful. So then when I heard that in my head, it wasn't like, it was just my own conscience maybe, or it was myself telling myself, like, be careful. Anyways, when that kind of popped into my mind, when that popped into my mind, I just thought to myself, look, I'm not gonna go straight out there. I'm gonna now just go and look, see what's going on, have a look at the area, and then I'll come back and then do it. So I've gone to where this bookies is. I'm driving down. I've looked to where the road is, and I've seen an X5 parked outside the bookies. It was a marked X5 police car. So I was like, right, that's kind of strange. So, because bear in mind, I've told nobody what I'm doing. And I forgot to tell you as well, I've actually been disqualified from driving, so I wasn't supposed to be driving whatsoever. The insurance that's on the car is booked insurance, it's fake insurance, so nothing was legit in the car. So I've seen the police car, and I've just kind of carried on driving, gone around the roundabout, came back on myself, and then that same X5 police car pulls me over, talking about I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So I was like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm wearing a seatbelt. I'm not even legit. In my head, I'm thinking, I'm not even legit yet. Of course I'm gonna have a seatbelt on to not bring attention to myself, kind of thing. Anyways, when they pulled me over, I was like, thank God that thing wasn't there. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, they're talking about seatbelts, so they're like, can we have your can we take your details, whatever. So I said, look, I ain't got no ID, but here's my details. I've given them fake details, and they've gone back to the police car to check them, but they wasn't checking them. About 2 minutes later, loads of X5s pull up on me. They jump out the car with firearms, like, hands where I can see them, put your hands on the steering wheel. They was just screaming at me, and they was just all pointing their guns at me, all of them. They was all surrounded the car. They dragged me out the car. They arrested me, and then they was like, we're arresting you for suspicion of aggravated burglary ×2, because allegedly I had robbed some drug dealers in the area, allegedly. Armed robbery on a commercial premises. These were the bookies that were saying that I had done armed robberies on these commercial premises, allegedly as well. And when they searched me, I had a Class C drug at the time. It was cannabis, so that was like a Class C drug at the time. Anyways, I'm thinking like, shit, how am I gonna get myself out of this? These times they're dishing out IPP. And if you don't know what IPP is, just look at a few of my old videos of some people talking about IPP. But these times they're dishing it out. So I'm like, I'm gone. Like, I'm gone forever. Like, this is nuts. So I'm thinking about my family. I'm in the cell. I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about my partner that I had at the time. I was like, right, everything. I've just lost everything basically, because I'm gone forever. They have ended up coming back to the cell. So I'm in the police station now. I'm in the cell, waiting for just waiting. They've come back to the cell and they was like to me, we saw where you came from, the house where you came from. We found a firearm at the address. It was a shotgun. So we're further arresting you for possession of a firearm 60 centimeters or longer, and we're further arresting you for ammunition. So I was like, because there was 2 bits of ammunition in the firearm. So I was like, shit, 2 aggravated burglaries, which can carry up to like 15 years, 16 years, like they're very serious charges, and there's 2 of them. And then armed robbery, which can carry big sentences. 2 of them. And then they're talking about possession of a firearm, and then they're talking about ammunition as well, and the cannabis, which I didn't even care about. But basically, when they gave me my charge sheet, it was 2 pages long. So it was like aggravated burglary, armed robbery, possession of a firearm, possession of ammunition, cannabis, and then I think there was something else, but I can't even remember. But it was 2 pages long, like the charges. I've never had charges like this before. And like I said, these times they're dishing out IPP, so I'm like, oh shit. So I was just in between a rock and a hard place. I was in this station, I was in the cell. I'm not going nowhere apart from prison. So all I could do was get on my knees and pray to God, because like at that point everything leaves you. Like, the way, like, you might think you can outsmart feds, or you might think you might think you know it all, especially at that age. I was young. I think I was about 19 or 20. I think I was about 19. And I was just like, I've just got to turn to God, and just because this is all I can do. Anyways, I've said a prayer now, and I'm like, I've got on my knees. I'm like, God, I've messed up. I've done bad things. I thought I knew it all. I've messed up. I need to get out of this situation. And if you get me out of this situation, I will never get involved in crime again. I'll turn my life around. I will serve you, X, Y, and Z. Anyways, as God is my witness, I swear on everything that I love, I heard an audible voice. So like, if I had a recorder, I could have recorded this voice. It wasn't in my head, it was outside of my head. It was a voice, and it said, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna get bail, and you're gonna drive out of the police station, drive home. You need to bear in mind that when I got nicked, I was disqualified from driving, had no insurance, the insurance is fake, and so the car, if you've been nicked like this before, they take the car, and you just gotta make your own way. So I was like, no way. But when I heard this voice, it wasn't just a voice, it was like a feeling came on me, and the feeling was like a sense of peace, like, and it was forced peace, like the peace was forced on me. So it didn't matter about everything that was going on. This peace just kind of came on me, and I didn't have a worry in the world. I did not care. I slept like a baby that day. On my life, I slept like a baby that day. Woke up, they've called me in to do forensics and that. So they do something with your fingerprints, and they do they take you to see if there's any powder on you and anything like this. And they've done all the forensics to check if I handled the firearm. Then I went into the interview room. I said no comment all the way. And basically, before I get into the next bit, anyone that's been to the police station or that's been on serious charges knows that with those type of charges, you're not getting bail. You're not getting it. You're getting straight remanded. You're going to prison. But yeah, they came to me and they was like, yeah, we're giving you bail and you can pick your car keys up at the desk. And bear in mind, I told you, I was not legit in his car. I was actually disqualified from driving, which they should have known because they had my name and everything once I went into the police station. And I was like, wow, like, you know, that must have been God because he spoke to me, number one. And number two, everything he said was true. Like, he said, don't worry, I'm going to get bail and I'm going to drive out of the police station. Like, so even if I did get bail, why would they give me the keys to drive a car that I'm not legit to drive? I'm disqualified from driving. I'm not even insured on the car. But obviously, because of everything that was going on, I think they just didn't care about the car. They knew they had got me and they was looking for me and they got me. So anyways, I've driven out of the station. I'm gassed. I'm like praising God. I'm like, thank God, you know, you got me out of this situation. I'm gonna turn my life around, whatever. And then I've got to answer for bail now. So about 4 months later, I'm answering for bail. And then when I've gone to the police station, like my heart's beating because I'm like, shit, what if they charge me? Like, I'm going away for a long time here. But at the same time, I was confident because of that voice that I heard. I was just super confident. Anyways, they said, do you want the good news or the bad news? And I was like, just give me the good news. There was like, the good news is you've got NFA, which means no further action, you're going home. And then I was like, so what's the bad news? And I was like, the bad news is you was running around with a 20 grand shotgun. He's running around trying to rob bookies with a 20 grand shotgun. I can't confirm if the shotgun cost that much, but they said it was an antique shotgun robbed in 2009 out of someone's house or something like that. And it was an antique shotgun basically. But obviously, because I had nothing to do with it, I just didn't care, innit? Because this is all alleged. So I was just like, look, I don't care about the price of that thing, whatever, it wasn't me. And then, yeah, ended up going home. So from that day, I knew that God was real. Like, no one could tell me anything. I had my experience. This wasn't a faith-based thing. This was like, I've experienced this. Like, I've actually heard God speak. And after that, I broke my promise. So I carried on doing bad things, breaking the law. You know, I carried on doing criminal activity. And I feel like because of that was why I'd spent all my 20s in jail. I'm now 31, but I spent all of my 20s in jail. And I feel like that was because I'd broke my promise and carried on doing bad things. But yeah, now I'm trying to get back close to God. I'm trying to do better. I'm doing this. And yeah, life since I've been out of prison, life's been going all right. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the story time. If you want more story time, maybe like, comment, let me know. And yeah, I'll be dropping a podcast next week.